Dan Bernstein Unfiltered. Unfiltered on 312 Sports.
DBU on 312, and it is a celebratory day for us because here, March 12th, 312, it's 312 day here in Chicago. And if you ask us, how are you celebrating 312 day at 312 Sports? See, behind me. Hey, wrong side. Here, 312 Sports. I'd make a bad weatherman. I'd be like, I don't know. That's Maine. That's Arizona. I don't know.
Like stand right in front of the map, yeah.
Right. Although I could tell people to put a bike helmet on their head. I could be very good at that. And go down the basement, but then come up
halfway.
The basement.
No, halfway down.
Halfway down. Halfway down and save your family heirlooms and make sure they're off the ground. But if your toddlers are down there, because I told you to go down there, you pick them up and put them on the shelf as well.
Floaties. Floaties.
Floaties for the toddlers, heirlooms off the ground, bike helmet on, halfway down the stairs, clear hearts, clean pants. Let's get it. I don't know.
Good to go.
Good to go. And here on 312 Day, we're doing something for you because we love you dearly. All day today, you will have the chance to not only win a 312 Day sports package. 3 winners are going to be selected between now and the end of the day. And what you do is you open the 312 Sports app, or you go to 312sports.com and you enter the code.
What's the code, Dan?
I'm not telling you yet.
Okay.
I might tell you a little bit later. You have to be listening and just don't let me forget it, because that would be really stupid.
That'd be great. That would be just something we would do for sure.
If we get to the end of the show and then I forget,
Yes.
because I've done that before. I forgot. So we're going to give you that code, and then what you can win, we have 2 winners that will be drawn for exclusive 312 Sports swag, and then 1 winner will get a pair of tickets to the Cubs opening weekend against the Nationals at Wrigley for Saturday or Sunday. So it's going to be the opening weekend, Cubs Nationals, and we are going to have all of that for you if you are the lucky 312 Day winner here at 312 Sports.
Nice.
So help me figure out, and you put this in my head regarding the ongoing significance and nebulousness surrounding the left tackle position. And for the moment, and I know that everything has, and I have to keep reminding myself that no individual move is ever in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
That there's always a larger plan, and there's always a strategy. These things have reasons. But I will say, for the moment, I'm not quite sure what they're doing at left tackle. I don't quite get it. Because at the moment, this does appear to be a collecting of bodies, a collecting of guys that will eventually be in competition, I would think. Because right now you've got 5, as we understand, live bodies at the Bears tackle position. And the latest one is certainly an intriguing one. But just to remind you, there was a competition at the position. And I understand when a coach takes over a team, and an offensive-minded head coach, and he knows how important every spot there is and locking everything down. And we certainly knew how important it was based on the money that was spent everywhere, and especially guard, center guard, with the trades and the signings. And now the upheaval that they have at center has certainly changed things. And now we know that is probably a non-moving piece in Garrett Bradbury for the moment. But with Darnell Wright ensconced at right tackle, as we understand, and he was a competitor at left. There were several practices when they gave him his opportunity, because there should be every option on the table. They had a brand new offensive line coach in Dan Rochar. But at this critical spot right now, the listed starter on the Our Lads depth chart, that's my favorite of the depth charts, just for the
I looked
ease
at
of
it
use
this morning. Yep.
and facility. And they also keep up really well, and it's all color-coded and at ourlads.com. Theo Benedett is the Bears starting left tackle.
Yeah, and who do they have listed as the backup?
Ozzy Trapillo.
Yes,
because they haven't made a move with him yet, and they don't have to.
Right, but he's the backup, and then you have Braxton Jones as the backup to right tackle Darnell Wright.
That's what I see. I see Darnell Wright at right. Braxton Jones recently just re-signed on that bargain deal to give him another shot at right tackle. Now, the name's still in the mix here. Kieran Amagaji is listed as the third stringer at right tackle. Mm-hmm. He's not going in the right direction on the chart.
No, he's not.
He's the Amagaji depth chart trajectory for a third-round pick is not the way you want it right now if you're him, but that's fine. If they feel that there's going to be some bench value or swing value there, that's fine. I don't like starting the season with Theo Benedett at left tackle. This doesn't look right to me, and it may just be that the backup right tackle spot is a placeholder for Braxton Jones, but I am, at the very least, I'm intrigued by the signing yesterday. And I knew I remembered the name, but Jedrick Wills Jr. is a Chicago Bear. Jedrick Wills Jr. and it was fascinating to see how the Browns fans have been talking about. I haven't called my friend who's the Browns expert, but when you look at some of the headlines here, he's just referred to as an unmitigated bust.
Yep.
And nobody is unhappy to see him go. But according to one of their fan websites, the headline just says Browns first-round bust ready to make his return to the NFL. And this looks like kind of a Bulls Jaden Ivey situation where if he has a working knee, he might be pretty good. And so it's in the back of my head because of what we're saying about Ozzy Trapillo and just how quickly a draft pick with high hopes can be derailed by a simple knee injury. And we've had experience with these guys getting hurt. And I don't mean to invoke these names to trigger your Chicago Bears anxiety, but remember what happened with Mark Colombo. Remember what happened with Gabe Karimi. Remember what happened with Chris Williams out of Vanderbilt, the first-round pick, left tackle.
So was it
Chris Williams? I think it was.
Yeah, Chris Williams. Colombo was a back injury. What was Gabe Karimi?
Colombo was a knee also. I think.
Oh, I thought he was back.
I believe it
was the significant thing that derailed his career.
I know he had both. I know there was a knee injury in there also. But sometimes these giant human beings are undone by the Achilles heel, as it were, of being giant people who need unfettered movement and don't have a lot of margin for error when it comes to the levers and the mechanisms that propel these giant masses around. And sometimes you're just done. Jedrick Wills took an entire year off. And this is why, the Trapillo thing, when they're already taking a gamble, Amagaji was hurt. Trapillo's hurt. Now Jedrick Wills was hurt. And they're fresh off of having to move their left guard to tackle in the most important game they've played in decades. That happened.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're just going to keep throwing bodies at it. But let's get most of the details here on Jedrick Wills. He took all the last season off because he was recovering, the full season thing. It's sort of like what we went through with Amagaji, who had the bad thigh injury, the quad tear that kept him out. He never got up to full strength. Hell, even Braxton Jones was too hurt to work out and build his anchor. But Jedrick Wills had been on a tour of visits with NFL teams. And the Bears weren't mentioned in the story from Browns Wire, but they said that it included the Patriots, it included the Lions, and he expected when he started that tour, he said he fully expects to be with an NFL team this season. And he spent a week with visits, and the Bears maybe found a match there with style of play and with need, with opportunity. And if you got a 26-year-old former top 10 pick who was believed to be a plug and play tackle. At the very least, somebody who could be your third tackle immediately upon arriving. The money's about right, but this is the kind of signing I don't mind. I like high ceiling pedigree signings that if in fact you get a free look and Dan Rochar, it was already probably worked him out if he's been working out for people and the Bears offensive line coach says, he's moving okay enough. If he were just completely done, I don't think the Bears would do this at all. I don't know how long a runway they're going to give him, but I don't mind this idea. I don't mind throwing another body out there. I just wish I thought that they weren't running back last year's plan. And that's kind of what it sounds like is first of all, rotating bodies into practice, the longer you do that, the more disruptive it can be to the cohesiveness of your offensive line. And they said it last year. Ben Johnson's, when they set out with the competition, we all roll our eyes anytime we hear about a competition in training camp. Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't, because we shouldn't let our previous Bears experiences haunt Ben Johnson. He doesn't deserve that. He didn't do anything wrong. He might earn it in time, but that kind of healthy Bears skepticism about such things is just because of our experience is well earned. Because usually competitions mean everybody sucks. That's generally the case. You got two quarterbacks, it means you got no quarterbacks. Some version of that. If you don't know who your starting left tackle is, that in and of itself can easily be considered a problem. And then coaches will say, well, we're going to have steel sharpen steel or iron sharpen iron or whatever you want to call it. And these guys are all going to make each other better and everybody's going to be awesome. Okay, great. I don't know how it's going to work.
No, you don't. And we don't know what their philosophy, their motivation behind it last year, calling it a competition. So I think they understood where it was going to fall into place last year. And I think they might have used it as a motivation tool to push guys to see. Now, we talk about Theo Benedict, an undrafted guy in 2024. You have Karen Amagaji, who wasn't fully healthy. Braxton Jones wasn't fully healthy. They drafted and targeted Ozzie Trapillo, who ended up being the guy. So let's give them credit for that. They drafted him. He ended up being the guy and was playing really well until he gets hurt. So Jedrick Wills Jr., Dan, he was the number 10 pick in 2020. He played 13 games in 2023 and 2024 due to injury and bad play. Took the entire season off last year, as you mentioned. I went back to look at his combine stuff. He graded out at a 6.85, which is a day one starter.
Yeah.
That's day one starter. His production score, Next Gen Stats, was a 97, which was tied for first overall. He had an athleticism score of 82, a total score of 89. He ran the 40 and 505. He had a vertical jump of 34.5 and a broad jump of 9 feet 5 inches. This is the write-up on him on NFL.com. He is tailor-made for the NFL. His range of success is good starter to all pro. His strengths are big, wide, extremely athletic body, plays loose hips and fluid, twitchy feet. Quick out of the gate to cross-face defenders from the backside. Moves like a tight end in space to adjust to moving targets. Good flexibility and leverage at the point of attack. Can unlock hips and rips into initial contact with jarring force. Ooh. Bulldozes down blockers, follows his feet to sustain space, basketball footwork to mirror athletic rushers, protects with locked-in base width, jabs rushers with either hand, and has talent to meet and refire in an instant, plays with unusual pose against counters, power, balance, and feet are outstanding in recovery, plays with nasty disposition. That's good stuff.
Ooh. Right? I'm excited.
That's good stuff.
What I circled was his range is good starter to all pro.
To all pro, yes.
His floor was considered good starter.
Yeah, Dan, you get it. That's 6.85. I mean, you're almost at 7, which is all pro.
Yeah. How much is left? How much of that athleticism? How much of that is?
And
left?
That's what I love about reading about him is that his feet. Like you have a tight end or a tackle that can move have feet like that they compare him to a tight end.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, famously, it was Darnell Wright who we heard was given the offseason workout, quote unquote, accidentally. He got the tight end conditioning workout.
Right.
And he did it. And they're like, oh, we gave you the wrong one. We didn't give you the tackle when we gave you the tight end. He's like, yeah, well, I completed it.
Yep. So his weaknesses, shorter than average as a tackle. He plays too far forward at times as a run blocker. Will one pop a block over sustaining at times. He can improve centering and controlling zone blocks, inconsistent tempo on workup blocks. Rare to see him latch in and close distance with hand grip. Average instincts and recognition against the blitz. Losses in pass protection usually due to overextending, occasionally beaten by inside moves and spin counters. So yeah, weaknesses there. Everyone has them. Those are that's stuff you can overcome with good coaching. It's the pure natural stuff that he has that's really exciting to see, which is why he was taken number 10 overall out of Alabama by Cleveland, and you get derailed by injuries. And injuries are going to lead to bad play. And bad play is going to lead you not being on the field. And then when you can't play, you're not going to be there altogether. So I like this. It's a reclamation project. This is a top 10 pick that had a really high pedigree, and they're not throwing a lot of money at it. What's it hurt to put him in the mix? And I'm really good with it. And, if it turns out great, then awesome. And if it doesn't,
fine.
But
what it reminds me of, too, are some Cubs pitching signings. The Cubs, this particular regime, they love having undervalued high pedigree guys. Mm-hmm. And just saying, look, we're better than our competitors at reclamation, and we're better than at seeing what we've got and tweaking it and changing an arm angle or adding a new pitch or changing a grip and finding this effectiveness. But similarly, a lot of it is reading those scouting reports and saying, I'd rather have a slightly deteriorated special guy that we can get the most out of or get something valuable out of than try to take somebody that, and add a ton of weight to them, or somebody who isn't that quick or athletic. You start with all of that stuff. The guys who might have a step to lose, the pitchers that might have a little bit of velocity to lose because they're good at other things. Talent, and then see what you got. This sounds like one of those informed upside signings. So crossing my fingers for him. Might be a great story.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to go back to the whole idea of trusting the coaching staff. I'm going to trust the coaching staff. I said that left tackle was a priority. Then Drew Dahlman retires. For me, center became the priority. Left tackle was second. If they think Theo Benedict, Braxton Jones, Kieran Amagaji, and Jedrick Wills Jr., they have a guy in there that can be a starting left tackle and can play the year or at least hold a spot until Ozzie comes back and they feel he'll be at 100%, I'm going to trust that they can do that. I'm going to trust that given a year under Ben Johnson's offense and a year of getting healthy and getting ready to participate, I don't feel like it'll be this big competition. I feel like they're going to have their guy identified because you're not going into the first year as a head coach. You're going in as a defending NFC North champions who are competing for a Super Bowl this year. You need to know who your guy is. They're going to have that guy identified. They're going to have their starting offensive line when it matters, when it counts. They're going to have 5 guys they've identified as their starters. That left tackle will be there. It will not be some silly competition.
Open the 312 Sports app or go to 312sports.com and enter the promo code. You ready for it?
Oh, good job in remembering.
Thank you. You ready for it?
I know code? It. So I know it.
It's easy. It's 312.
Nice.
312. That's the code. Enter that in today's 312 day reward for your chance to win. If you don't have the app, you can find it in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Then register your account and start winning great prizes from 312 Sports. This is just what we have today. We always have prizes in there for you. But right now, 312 is your code in the 312 Sports app or 312sports.com. It is March 12th. It is 312 day, and you may win one of our 312 Sports swag packages or the grand prize for today, a pair of tickets to Cubs opening weekend against the Nationals at Wrigley on Saturday or Sunday.
All right, just looking at that left tackle too, Dan. So Theo Darnell, Kieran, Braxton, Jedrick, Ozzie, obviously, who's injured. That's all the names, right?
And Joe Tooney in a pinch.
Well, and Joe Tooney in a pinch.
Right.
But, I mean, at
Darnell Wright, if you
tackle,
gotta flip him. Yep.
So your two tackle positions, you have 5 bodies, 5 healthy bodies right now that are in there. Ozzie's injured. Maybe they add someone in a day 3 pick that they've identified that they could work up and have as a body. Who knows what that could be? Obviously, the use of your tight ends in helping blocking on the offensive side of the ball is important to what Ben Johnson does, and that took a little ding as Durham Smythe signs with the Ravens and goes and joins Declan Doyle. So now you have, Loveland, you have Cole Kmet. You're going to have to add a third tight end there as well. So that's another body that you're going to have to identify.
Yeah, maybe that's a draft pick.
It could be a draft pick.
Maybe that's a day 3 basketball player thing, where they find one of those guys, or I hate to say small college because then I've got these Adam Shaheen Ashland vibes, and but you have to. I'm sure that it's in their plan because you have to identify who your third tight end is going to be. They use 3 tight ends consistently, so with Smythe leaving and going to the Ravens, you have to find that third body. Where is Adam Shaheen? Do we care? Do we know?
I mean, he's a human, so I care that he's okay.
Are we sure? He may not be. He may be now in AI. But God, I remember that. People were so excited, and he's big, and he was bad, and he had like a lifelong Chipotle card. Remember? That was the big story about Adam Shaheen. Is he apparently ate so much Chipotle that they gave him a card that let him have a free burrito bowl whenever he wanted.
So when he retired from professional football, Dan, he is currently transitioning into MMA training.
What?
Including jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. As of January 2026, he's also involved in coaching, having joined the staff at Summit Academy High School to coach tight ends.
And good for him. There it is. There's your Adam Shaheen wellness check has been taken care of here by your friends at DBU. I'm watching baseball last night and just, hoping against hope. I didn't think it was going to go all that well. And by the way, I went back and I checked the tape, and I knew that I was right when I said that the Italian team had out of this world pitching. Wasn't that what I said? I listened very carefully, and I said they're out of this world with their pitching. I think that's what it was.
Dan.
Yeah.
Italy. Oh, no, right. I got it right here.
Can you read? We're going to go to the court reporter. Can you read that back to me, please?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to include the laughter, too. Ha, 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 ha. Italy's out of pitching. Ha, 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 ha.
I don't appreciate the editorialization that comes from the court reporter. But, okay. So I'm just making sure.
I'm pretty sure you said they were out of pitching.
I heard what you just said, and what I heard was Italy has out of this world pitching. Okay.
Wait, let me just double check. Wait, hang on a second, because I think I texted you last night, 8:11 p.m. I think they were up at that point 6-0. My text to you, too bad Italy didn't have any pitching left for this game.
Well, I just said they were out of this world.
Did you forget about Aaron Nola?
It wasn't him. No, it's because of the pitch. It was because of the pitch counts.
He won 5 yesterday.
I know. I didn't think he was going to be that efficient, and I thought that he'd be out, and then they'd get everybody else because all the high leverage guys were used.
He was out after 5 innings in scoreless baseball.
Yeah. He got the most out of his pitch limit, and I wasn't sure that a guy who nibbles with a lot of curveballs.
And he got lucky to get through the 5-2 because he had a guy on base and was like, all right, it's 64 pitches, and then
I know
asshole gets thrown out at seconds, and it's like, oh, he's gonna finish this inning, isn't he?
Yep.
He sure is.
Yeah, and some of the base running, not the best. But what was weird, I was watching the broadcast, and correct me if I read this wrong.
Okay.
But after the whole Mark DeRosa fiasco, and I'll have some more thoughts on him at some point, because apparently he's not as good a guy as I presumed based on his relationship to Rob Manfred, and apparently he's sort of Rob Manfred's hired anti-union muscle, And
Okay.
that's a bad look. And I really don't like that. I don't like the fact that he's kind of a martinet for Rob Manfred as they head into a labor negotiation. That's too bad that he's been kind of co-opted on the owner's side rather than the player's side, which I did not know. But the moment that Italy went up 4-0, it's over. That's the clinch. That clinched the spot for the Americans. Because as I understood it, the only way the Americans would be eliminated is if Mexico won and scored fewer than 5 runs. That's on every matrix I looked at. If Italy wins it all, the U.S. is in. And the only way that a Mexico win would have the U.S. in is if they won 4-3, 4-2, 4. Like you can, there were charts, but if they scored 5, it was over.
I'm sure you're right.
Now, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So
let me just double check.
At that point, the only way Mexico could have won was a 5-4 win. The moment Italy's got 4 runs, it's over. Because the only way Mexico can win would be to score 5, and anything else on your chart would be an Italy win. So that was it. That 4th run by Italy going up 4-0 was the clincher for the U.S. that thought they had clinched before, and they went out and they got drunk and they were bad and they lost, and then they lied about it, and then they took the video down. The whole thing still is bad. Make no mistake. That is, or make a mistake. That is still a huge gaffe on the part of DeRosa. But
well, I'll say this. So the final last night was 9-1, correct?
I think so. Yep.
9-1, and the run differential. Italy finished plus 21. USA was plus 18. Mexico was plus 12. So yeah, I'm sure you'd read that correctly.
Yes.
And the fact that they didn't identify it, whatever, it's fine. The coach for USA didn't even know. But thinking back through to it yesterday, in anticipation of watching that game last night, Bryce Harper sat. Who else sat for the USA? I mean, that team still should have beaten Italy.
Oh,
I mean, they still should have beaten Italy with Bryce, whether hungover, because guys play hungover all the time.
Yeah, the USA backups are certainly good enough to beat Team Italy.
Yes. They should have won that game, period. But it was a magical time for Italy. I mean, they're building statues for that coach now in
Cervelli?
Italy. Yes. I think the prime minister was like, we're going to build a statue for you. I mean, when you pull this off, dude, I love the espresso. I love the opera music for home runs. It's fucking great. What did Natalie tell me too last night? Is it Dominican Republic players, when they hit a home run, it's like 11 to 12 seconds longer to get around the bases?
Yes.
Yeah.
Famously.
That's the stuff with the WBC that I love.
Enjoy it.
Yes, it's so much fun. I love the opera music though, and making espresso. You get to the dugout and you do espresso shots. It's fucking great.
Yeah, and it's not fake either. Like they have an
real. It's a
espresso
real
machine.
Yes,
espresso machine, and they get it, and they start brewing it. Like the moment the ball is over the fence, somebody runs down to the end and brews a fresh espresso for them. Oh, that's like. Yeah, there's so much more you could do though. Why not like just a little bit of prosciutto, a little plate of like fontina and prosciutto, a little bit of pecorino romano.
Well, they should have a chef in the dugout that's preparing like carbonara. You get in, you get a big bite of carbonara.
Oh, I'm telling you, the table side plating of the carbonara at Almoro, they call it spaghetti Almoro.
Yeah.
But when you see and it's the European eggs that just look better because they are better, and when you crack these European eggs and the yolk, it's like this wonderful golden orange color, and they stir that in and it disappears, and it's just the yolks and it's guanciale, the jowl. Oh,
so I'd have to find the name of the place that we had carbonara. I'll pull it up. I'll tell you when we're offline. But they brought up it was the giant cheese wedge.
Oh, they did it in the wheel
table side. Yeah, it's really really cool. Are you a fan of fennel? Do you like fennel?
Sometimes, yeah. The way I use fennel is if I'm making like a seafood soup or chowder, I will sub fennel ribs for celery.
Why?
And in my mirepoix, I will use fennel in like a soup base just because I like it. I don't like too much of it, but I love that flavor. I love anise flavor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but why do you substitute celery just for that extra flavor?
I substitute fennel for celery in anything sort of seafood. Yes.
Okay.
Because it gives you the similar properties, but it also has that great little. It's like the way in a bouillabaisse when people will add Pernod or anisette. I like that. When I do a cioppino, I'll always use fennel.
That's interesting. I like that. I'll do that. I'll do that, but I'm not going to take this. I won't substitute celery out because I like this fact that celery stays toothsome.
Right.
In liquid. I like that crunch and I love it. And sometimes I'll add it late to a product. No, I made a salad last night for myself. I did fennel and celery and red onions. I did slice the red onions really thin and then put them in red wine vinegar and let them sit for a bit. Oh. Added the fennel and the celery and then some cannellini beans and then a little more red wine vinegar and then olive oil and salt and pepper. It was great. It was really good.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I make a fennel arugula salad for Beth that it's just fresh lemon juice and good olive oil, black pepper, sea salt, and then with a poached egg on top because it's sort of like it's like an Italianized version of which is the salad. It's not Provençal. It's not the frisee salad. I'll remember the name of it, but I always forget. But there's the French salad that has that, and I don't know. Beth loves fennel too, so we
does she do the orange and fennel salad?
I haven't.
God, dude, yeah, it's a wonderful combo. If she likes fruit, you got to do orange and fennel.
I don't think she likes orange that much.
But I just throw a couple wedges in there with it. Oh man, throw a little celery in there. It's good stuff. Really good. So I can't remember the name of the restaurant. I'll have to find that.
Now it's just killing me. The name of this salad: French poached egg.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you too.
It's not Provence. Lyonnaise. It's a Lyonnaise salad.
Oh, Lyonnaise. Yeah.
Yeah. The egg and bacon. Okay.
Yep. Vital Farms. You can find it at like Target. Mariano's has it. I think Jewel sells them too. The Jewels. Vital Farms. Those are the eggs I get. I don't know what eggs you buy.
I generally buy the inexpensive ones because I'm not going to spend $9 on eggs unless I'm making something special.
Oh, okay. That's
not regular everyday eggs.
These are $9 for a dozen. I think they're like 12 for 18. And dude, that's all I buy. Because we eat eggs every day. If I'm
that's
making
a lot of money, man. I know we eat a ton of eggs too.
It's worth it though, dude. It's worth it. You got to have the good eggs. You talk about the golden orange yolks. I mean, that's a good stuff.
I know. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, don't buy cheap. You can't buy cheap eggs. You can't buy cheap Q-tips. You got to buy the real brand.
That's a good point.
Toilet paper.
I tried to buy off-brand Q-tips.
Oh, dude, it's like putting a pencil in your ear.
I got in trouble.
You get yelled at? Moron.
I got in trouble, and because there's like
Danny save a dime, just spend the money.
Yeah,
bro.
there's a glass container of the Q-tips.
Oh yeah,
a really nice glass, with a metal lid.
Yep.
And I replaced them. And it took one moment, and I just from the bathroom, like, what the hell is this shit?
I don't blame her at all.
And
it's like sticking a pencil in your ear, or the stick is like really flimsy, and it's like
I walked in gingerly. I'm like, what? And she's just pointing to it, like, nope. Yeah. Whatever these are, throw them out.
Were you like, but honey, I saved $1.29.
I had a coupon.
Yeah.
She said, I don't care if you own the damn place.
Right.
Get these out of my house.
Q-tips, toilet paper, eggs, man. You can't go cheap.
All right. That you know what? I think that should be the working slogan for
Q-tips, toilet paper, and eggs.
Eggs. Q-tips.
Or eggs.
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 Well, the Bourbon eggs we can't afford, obviously.
No.
I think they all blew away. Did you see the damage down there?
Oh, it's bad.
That was an F3.
Yeah, it's not good.
That was holy moly! Because when those things come through at night and you can't see them.
Yeah, I hope everybody had bike helmets on.
And they were halfway down their basement.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was bad. Oh, I have another baseball note here.
Okay, what do you got?
And I always mention this. If you're not reading Craig Calcaterra's Cup of Coffee newsletter, you're starting your day wrong. You should be, and with baseball season coming, the best thing you will do is spend a little bit of money to subscribe to the Cup of Coffee newsletter from Craig Calcaterra, because he is a brilliant, cantankerous, observant, funny misanthrope of a dude. And he's just a wonderful writer. He gets a lot of information, and there's a lot of music and pop culture and other cool stuff that he does. So he had this information today, and we knew the story of Andre Dawson. Andre Dawson, we know, has wrapped himself in Cubdom. He has embraced the Cubs, despite the fact that he has played, in life. He was famous with the Expos and made his name with the Expos and had the prime of his career, and then sort of had a second prime with the Cubs and famously signed the blank check contract and said, whatever you want to pay me, get me off of this awful AstroTurf, get me onto grass, let me extend my career. And he has become a beloved Cub over time. And yet his Hall of Fame plaque features him in a Montreal Expos cap. And I didn't really know the extent to which Dawson resented that. He didn't like the way his time in Montreal ended. Apparently there was some collusion when he hit the market, and he is much happier about being a former Cub than he is a former Expo, much prouder. And when Andre Dawson was inducted, he couldn't choose his own cap, and they didn't have the blank cap as an option. It defaulted to the Expos cap. But now the Hall of Fame has come out with a statement, and it's always, of course, it's the Hall of Fame. Self-important, turgid, sort of ancient, stilted stuff that they do because they're a museum that prides itself on being self-important. And they said the Hall of Fame Board of Directors voted unanimously to provide Andre Dawson with the option of having no logo on his Hall of Fame plaque, which will be recast to reflect his wishes. This decision gives Andre a choice that he would have taken had it been available when he was elected in 2010, just 4 years prior to the formal implementation of that alternative. Apparently, Andre Dawson and the Hall of Fame have been talking about this for a couple of years.
Wait, so now you can choose how you go in?
You can.
So that wasn't an option before.
The blank cap was not an option. You cannot choose your
Even
logo.
today, you couldn't choose. If you play for 6 teams and you want to go in the team that you were there for a year only, but that's what you want to do, they don't let you pick.
You used to be allowed to pick.
Okay.
But it stopped based on, from what I can understand, it was the Wade Boggs thing. Remember when there was some uncertainty, and I went back and looked, this was, and I think Craig links to it, that there was a story that Wade Boggs said that the owner of the Tampa Bay Rays offered him $1 million to be the first Devil Ray in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
But then they denied that it actually happened. Or Jose Canseco, there was some, apparently, and Boggs has talked about this afterward, but Jose Canseco said something and said that Boggs had been offered some of this money, and then Boggs denied being offered that money. So the Hall of Fame was just like, well, we can't have any of this. Harumph, harumph, harumph. We have to shut this whole thing down, and you can't choose. We can choose because we're the Hall of Fame. So they made it so they would make the proper decision about something as monumentally important as a logo on a hat.
Okay, yeah, the player should be able to choose. That's kind of silly. But didn't Wade Boggs try to build an extra wing or something on the Hall of Fame? And
that was
he had
his famous quote.
He had cheap wood or something. Or
I had $35,000. I could build a whole wing for the steroid users. Yeah, but his estimates were way low. I think that the Wade Boggs construction does stuff on the cheap when it comes to building a museum wing for steroid people. But here's the main reason I bring it up.
Okay.
This is Calcaterra here. He says the Expos, while still beloved by baseball fans of a certain age, no longer exist, and Major League Baseball has more or less allowed their history to be erased. Getting rid of the Expos logo on Dawson's cap is just the latest example of that. We are pretty quickly approaching a time when the Expos will have no richer historic currency than the Louisville Colonels or Cleveland Spiders, which is kind of a shame. Now, you know where I'm going with this. You know of whom I am thinking.
Yeah, first guy that I thought of.
Gary Gerstein.
Yep.
The late, lamented, great Gary Gerstein, who you know him as Gary from Evanston. And if you don't know him as Gary from Evanston, don't know of Gary from Evanston, he was a real guy, a wonderful guy, and truly a legendary old-time sports radio personality. And because of the Boers and Bernstein show and his role in Who You Crappin' and his unique mind, really, really, really unique mind, that he was one of the biggest Expos fan I've ever met in my life. He would not stand any aspersions cast on the mascot Youpie.
Mm-hmm.
Gary had Expos jerseys, Expos hats, Expos swag, and knew everything about their history. Well, the guy knew everything about everything because he was absolutely brilliant. And Gary was our Hall of Fame all-time greatest Who You Crappin' participant, which he won famously at McNally's in one of the greatest live orations. One of my favorite moments ever in radio was being there that day at a dive bar in the middle of Beverly with peanut shells on the ground and hearing an entire packed bar chanting Gary's name as he has hit the equivalent of a walk-off grand slam in the Who You Crappin' finals. He was amazing. Somewhere, I think Chris Tannehill may have that tape, but his love for the Expos and the fact that after he passed away, relatively young, I think he was in his mid 60s, that listeners at the time met up just to remember him spontaneously. That people got together and celebrated his life. His daughter, I believe, put together from his computer all of the Who You Crappin' entries that he never ended up reading, that he had saved, a lot of which were references to episodes of Bonanza from the early 60s, that they're all still there. There's a record of these things. And I'll close this by saying my favorite line, the hardest that Gary ever made me laugh. I mean, other than that day when I had tears running down my face and just seeing the smile on his face and just seeing everybody going crazy. You should know Gary was autistic. And he had a job for decades. He found an incredible job where he was the proofreader, the document proofreader for the large Chicago law firm of Chapman and Cutler. And he had a unique ability to go through stacks of legal documents and find errors, find typographical errors, formatting errors, whatever he was told, scan more than any computer, more than any program, his brain. And this law firm realized that they had something unique, and he was just installed. The guy was in some ways this gifted computer when it came to scanning with his eyes and his brain, scanning legal documents for mistakes, errors, or anything that was somehow out of place. And we were at the auto show. I don't know if you were there that day. I think it was after your tenure, perhaps, like recently. Maybe we were at the auto show, surrounded by auto show folks. And during a commercial, and this is when the people would come up to us and be like, "Can you make an announcement? I can't find my wife." Yeah. And we're not the PA system here. Do you know where they're selling the popcorn that has caramel? I can't help you right now. And
I would always be like, ask that guy there and point to Terry.
or me. And so Gary comes up to me and he goes, Hey, Bernsey. I'm like, what's up? He goes, some of the people here are so weird. They make me look normal. I absolutely creased myself, doubled over laughing. So when I read this today and saw this about Andre Dawson, it was a little bittersweet. So here's to fighting Expos erasure in the name of Gary from Evanston Gerstein. So,
and I know I brought this up before on the pod, the documentary on Netflix that came out last year, Who Killed the Montreal Expos. If you have not watched it, you need to watch it. It's thoroughly entertaining and informative and just a really, really good watch. And as we're getting close to baseball season starting, get back into the swing of baseball mindset and baseball mind. Watch that documentary, Who Killed the Montreal Expos. Really, really good. And, I didn't know Gary was autistic.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I did not know. I did not know. I loved every interaction with Gary. I loved when he would call in. It was great. I had no idea. I knew about the job. I knew he was a brilliant guy. And I loved, he was just a really sweet, genuine guy too. And I loved every interaction with him.
Yeah. And he told me that one day because I was talking when he was explaining his job as a proofreader, I'm like, wow, that sounds incredibly intense and tedious. And he's like, no, well, I'm autistic, so it's just something I can do. I was like, wow. And I also didn't know that he apparently when he was in high school, he was really, really successful and decorated at Model UN. That is not something I ever did, but apparently he and a lot of what he was good at, he said at Model UN, was the parliamentary procedure. Of like the rules of debate and the structure that he had a unique ability to understand and anticipate stuff like that when it came to managing parliamentary procedure. I just thought that was really cool.
All right, so back to Andre Dawson. Now, is this hat blank? Does he have a blank hat? So he has a blank hat.
Blank hat.
And so it was Expos, and now it's blank.
Right.
Okay, well, that's too bad.
I know, but look, you're not gonna mess with the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you could put Carthage Firebirds on there because that would be yours. You would definitely go in with a Carthage Firebirds one. You love that hat.
Well, it fits really well. That's why
you love that hat. Yeah. You probably, if you look at the advertising that you've done for them, hell, I'm pumping Wells Park today with the little home plate cut out here, but
it fits well. We've talked about this. It's not the circumference. It's the depth,
I'm
crown,
not.
It fits really well. And
I'm not judging, and it goes with a lot of your outfits. You got a little bit of the orange here, and Libertyville's got a lot of orange. Oh, that's red.
It's red. Yeah, the Carthage is red.
Oh, okay, sorry, but you know the colors on here are weird because I see this as red.
Right, but it's yellow.
It's yellow, but I see it as
on the
red.
Screen. Right.
It's yellow on the screen. I'm looking at it, and it's red to my eyes.
What color is mine? Mine's green.
I see green on the top of your Shure mic there. Right, that didn't change. It has to do with apparently the intensity and somewhere along the visible spectrum. Anyway, I want to get to one more thing before I've got something super cool to end this. But why are Kobe fans so weird? Why are Kobe Bryant fans so damn weird? In the wake of the Bam Adebayo 83-point game, and make whatever 83 jokes you want, we've done all that, and it came up on OWC yesterday, and we talked it through. I learned a new term, by the way, because my co-host on OWC, as he so diplomatically and delicately put it, he referred to the Kobe Bryant meat riders, and I guess that's a term. I would say fans.
Yeah,
fans or stands perhaps, but he referred to them as meat riders, which sounds like a 70s band that had a couple of hits and went away and then is playing in casinos or something like that. But God, when did Kobe Bryant become this sainted, sacrosanct figure that? And a lot of this comes from the unfortunate column that Sam Amick wrote for The Athletic that was published in the New York Times. I like Sam Amick, but oh my God, did an editor have to spike this. When he said Bam Adebayo should have stopped at 81 points in deference to Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
What?
I didn't see that. That's going a bit too far. I mean, I can answer your question for you, and the fact that he died in a helicopter crash with his daughter. I mean, that's your answer right there. That's why it's like that. But were he still alive today, you wouldn't see the same things.
And if he were still alive, he would have congratulated Bam Adebayo.
Yes, he would have.
That's what's so weird.
Yeah.
But I had no clue that there was this veneration of Kobe Bryant and his records, everything. Kobe Bryant was a really good basketball player, a great scorer, a Hall of Fame basketball player, but you don't want to start, ranking him in the pantheon of like all-time Lakers. Come on, not even on his team. Like let's just settle a little bit here on that. And I'm not even bringing up, and I saw this especially on Blue Sky, and I liked being educated more about this, where there are a lot of people who have not really felt empowered to say how they really feel about what the facts of the case were in Denver in the rape trial, and if we looked at that rape trial and the actual testimony and the facts of that case, and we looked at it through the modern lens, rather than just kind of saying, oh, yeah, that happened. And if you really look at that and then make some decisions and make some judgments about the way we're better now at understanding the pressure on victims and understanding how slanted the justice system is against plaintiffs and or victims and or alleged victims, I do think it changes the context, and I understand where a lot of this is coming from. But man, some of the responses from Kobe, just stop being weird. Just because it's one thing to have a favorite player like your guy. It is another thing for one of the senior NBA writers at The Athletic to say something as ridiculous as Bam Adebayo should have stopped scoring and should have not broken the verifiable record out of some deference to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's really silly.
Really bad.
And I mean, so it's been 6 years since he died, and so my kid was 7 and 6 when Kobe passed away. And even in this younger generation at 13, 12, these kids are middle school, high school now, who really never watched Kobe Bryant play basketball. There is this idolization and worship of Kobe Bryant and his ability. Now, he's one of the best players I've ever seen play the game. And there's a lot of apparel out there now with Kobe's face and a lot of stuff about Kobe. And it's just a lot of younger generation who really aren't familiar with his game really love Kobe Bryant. And so that's why I think you see that. And the fact that he died in a helicopter crash with his daughter, that's going to influence a lot. And it kind of washes over what happened in Denver, unfortunately. But that... of all, you could pick out a lot of bad things in this whole conversation, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
That to write that though that's pretty pathetic. Like that's really pathetic. Like you're not gonna why? Because
somebody's got to spike that.
Yeah,
that's why you have editors.
It's not good.
It's why you have editors. For an editor to be like, yeah, we're not going to do this, because they probably say, hey, do you have a Kobe take for us? Everybody's writing Kobe today. I need a Kobe column from you. Yeah, sure. But come on, man.
But why? Like, I want the explanation. Why should he have stopped?
Yeah.
Why? Because he tragically died?
That's part of it.
Why? Because he was a great player. And why should he have died? I mean, why should he have stopped? That's crazy.
That's part of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I would say if you listen to OWC, because we do go through the whole piece on the most recent organizations win championships. So you can find that when, we're at 312 Sports. We did discuss it at length. And
yeah, Jason I didn't see that. I didn't know that you were bringing that up there today. That's really odd.
Yeah, Jason takes on what the people he refers to as the meat writers. So
meat writers.
Yeah,
so it's really interesting. There's a whole growth of younger people that never really saw Kobe play in live.
Jordan too, and that's part of the whole Jordan legend thing too, because he's a brand. He's a living brand outside of. It's like nobody realized that Jordan had bad games.
Right. Of course he had bad games, but he's still the greatest player to ever play. So.
No, but we're not doing that today.
But he is. Yeah, we're not going to do it, but he is.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but we won't do it though. But he is
greatest competitor, and you can argue most accomplished, but not the best basketball player who ever lived.
If you had one game to win and you had one guy to pick, who would you pick?
What rules and when are we playing?
Basketball rules. Playing NBA basketball.
I think I'd take LeBron.
Okay, I'd pick Michael Jordan.
I'd rather have the guy that can guard 5 positions. I'll take the 6'8" guy. There is an auction today.
This is cool, dude.
Oh, man.
This is really cool. I'm
Yeah,
glad you brought this up.
I want to make sure I can credit the person who sent this in. This was sent in by Sean. Okay. Sean, thank you for emailing me this. And we'll get in, by the way, tomorrow, Friday, Feedback Friday. We got a lot of good stuff. And we got a great top 10 list tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, let's make sure we no, we don't share those, do we?
No, we can.
Right. That's right. We don't have to. That's right. I forgot.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Forgot.
The late former owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay, who was a troubled and eccentric man. With all of his, well, what did you do with all that money? He collected memorabilia. And I'm not talking about a baseball card here or game-worn jersey there. The Jim Irsay collection is up for auction. His Hall of Fame collection is up for auction tonight. This afternoon, in fact. 4:00. If you go to Christie's.com, the Jim Irsay Hall of Fame collection, item by item, is being auctioned at Christie's.com. The bidding starts in 5 hours from when we're recording right now. So 4:00 Central. These are the items. And I'm just going to read them because there's pictures here. You are not going to believe this. The first item is a rare concert poster advertising the concert that Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens didn't make because their plane crashed.
Oh, wow.
The Moorhead Armory, the rare concert poster, they think that's going to go for $400,000 because the day the music died, that plane crash, what was called the Winter Dance Party never happened. And here's the poster promoting it. There is a custom prototype Les Paul guitar that's going, they think the opening bid's $100,000. They have Johnny Cash's acoustic guitar, Ringo Starr's pinky ring, Ringo Starr's first Ludwig drum kit that was used with the Beatles from May 1963 to February 1964. They believe that could go as high as $2 million.
Wow.
These are all, these have certificates of authenticity. Everything's been officially authenticated. George Harrison's Maton Master Sound guitar, the Beatles logo drum from the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964 when he said, the Beatles. And
wow.
It's that drum that says the Beatles on it. That actual bass drum is up for auction. John Lennon's stage-played Rose Morris Rickenbacker, John Lennon's Gretsch 6120 Chet Atkins, George Harrison's Gibson SG standard guitar. Like these are the guitars that they used. George Harrison's, let me see. How about this? An upright Broadwood piano that belonged to John Lennon, on which he composed Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, A Day in the Life, Being There for the Benefit of Mr. Kite from Sgt. Pepper's. Just a simple upright piano that was used to compose those songs. A Beatles signed poster, a custom prototype Vox guitar, Paul McCartney's handwritten lyrics for Hey Jude. 1, Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Break. 2, Hey Jude, don't be afraid. Middle, and anytime you feel the pain. Like his handwritten.
That's cool.
Hey Jude lyrics. They believe that is going to be around $800,000 a starting bid. Ringo Starr's snare drum. Paul McCartney's left-handed Yamaha bass. Eric Clapton's Gibson SG, no thank you. Bob Dylan's handwritten lyrics for The Times They Are A-Changin'. Janis Joplin's Gibson acoustic guitar. John Coltrane Yamaha Nippon alto sax. An electro voice microphone used by Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison handwritten notes in his notebook. It's from 1969. It's his composition notebook. Man, I don't know how he found all these things.
Yeah, how did he get all this shit?
David Gilmour's Fender Stratocaster, known as the Black Strat. David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, his famous Black Strat. They have upwards of $4 million on that. David Gilmour's Martin 35 acoustic. How about this? A Steinway and Sons grand concert piano that was Elton John's.
I was gonna say Elton John. That was my guess.
That is Elton John's.
Now this is all online, right? This is not like a live.
Yeah, it's going to be live.
Online.
It's going to be live online.
Okay.
So if you have a spare couple $1 million lying around, I'm only about half done. Hold on.
Can you imagine the current artists that'll be bidding on items, like to get their hands on some of this?
I don't know
equipment?
to whom it's that important. I really don't.
Oh, I bet you, like artists
right.
and musicians, it would
Hold
be
on.
for sure.
I'm not. There's more.
I didn't say you were done, bastard. I had a question for you.
Jerry Garcia's custom-built guitar known as Tiger, with the Tiger logo on there and the 3 pickups. That is already the starting bid on that is $1 million. Miles Davis's Martin Committee trumpet, a Gibson Explorer reissue used by The Edge. Here is what may go for the most money of any of the musical items. The blue Fender Mustang Kurt Cobain used in the video shoot for Smells Like Teen Spirit.
How much? What's the opening bid?
$2.5 million. They think it could be as much as $5 million. Wow. Prince's yellow custom cloud guitar. James Brown's Godfather of Soul cape. The I Can't Do No More cape.
Nice.
Sylvester Stallone's handwritten script notebook for Rocky. A spiral-bound Mead notebook that was in a black ballpoint pen with edits in red, sections of dialogue for Rocky, Adriana, Apollo, and other characters.
Wow.
It says Adriana. It says maybe it was her name Adriana before it was Adrian. Now wait, here's another. How about from Castaway, Wilson the volleyball?
What's the opening bid on that one?
$60,000.
I can do that. You want to do that?
You can do that. They're estimating it's going to only get 80,000 because I think there's more than one. But the bloody handprint Wilson volleyball.
I think we should put a bid on that.
A Jackie Robinson bat.
Oh, what's that going for?
$250,000 to $350,000. They're estimating.
I like that.
But these are just estimates. Muhammad Ali's robe for an Everlast weigh-in robe from 1965.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Wayne Gretzky jersey that it was photo matched, worn for his 500th career goal and the 1987 Stanley Cup Finals clinching Game 7.
Wow.
So that's the Gretzky jersey. Then the Secretariat race used 1973 Triple Crown saddle.
Wow.
This came from Ron Turcotte. This is the actual saddle that Secretariat wore for the 73 Triple Crown with the stirrup irons and leathers. A letter of authenticity from Ron Turcotte and stuff signed by Ron Turcotte. There's like a whole, Terry would just go crazy for this.
What's the opening bid on it?
$1.5 million for that. And there's only a few more things. There's a letter from Steve Jobs, a spiritual letter postmarked the day before his 19th birthday, if this is the kind of memorabilia you're into. An Apple II manual inscribed and signed by Steve Jobs. The Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas 1973 Chevrolet Caprice Classic convertible known as the Red Shark. Hunter Thompson's 1973 Chevrolet Caprice Classic. And lastly, the item the only one in this collection that I knew that Jim Irsay had, and that is the original typescript vertical scroll for the first draft of Jack Kerouac's On the Road. That is, the range is $2.5 million to $4 million. If you want any of these things, it's all available at Christie's.com. Just look up Jim Irsay Hall of Fame and start making some bids. And you can own any one of those items that I just mentioned. Pretty incredible,
cool.
Isn't it?
Very
really cool. That's going to do it for DBU on this Thursday. Remember that code that we gave you, 312, at the 312 Sports app or 312sports.com. The code is 312 for your all-day 312 day on 312 Sports prize opportunities for Cubs tickets for 312 Sports swag.
Dan Bernstein Unfiltered on 312 Sports.